For luck or
For luck is
Everything.
99.
Hello.
Isn't it
99 for luck.
We're live. Hello, everybody. We're discussing skills. I didn't give anybody a warning. We're just talking about advanced characters. Welcome back. Tuesday night, Garblag Games North American Edition. We are continuing the Masks in Nyarlathotep using Pulp Cthulhu rules here on Garblag Games. And we are 2 sessions into the New York mystery of Mr. Jackson Elias's death. So what we'll do is I'll do the round table. Everybody can introduce their characters, and then we'll do a recap of last week. We'll roll our luck before I forget. And housekeeping. Someone on YouTube mentioned this, and I forgot this last time we did Pulp Cthulhu, or Cthulhu in general. Not as Pulp, and I forgot it this time around as well. So someone in the comments on YouTube around me, you can push your rolls in Call of Cthulhu, so you don't necessarily have to spend luck. But if you do push a roll and you fail, it's like suggested in the book, like it's pretty dire, the failure. So you can use it. You can push your rolls, but just keep that in mind. It's usually pretty bad if you fail the second time. But you have luck also. And in Pulp, we have even more luck than usual. So let's go around the table here. We'll get a rundown of everybody's characters. Aaron, tell us about Seamus.
So Seamus Rook is a young man born in Los Angeles, grew up there as a thief and a cat burglar. Got ran out of the city for stealing from the wrong person. Joined the army, fought in the war, got out, was kicking around England, and that's where he met Jackson Elias and helped him rip off a museum for the book he was writing. After that, he went back to Chicago and quickly wore out his welcome there, and was lucky enough to get a letter from Jackson saying, "Come to New York," and that's where he's at, working out with this disreputable crew of people.
You've made some fast friends here. That's for sure. Very good. And Megan returning as Gwen from the Peru leg of the journey.
Yeah, I play Gwendolyn Murphy, or Gwen, a once sort of struggling artist of basic landscape design. After Peru and the craziness that ensued, she went a little dark, started drawing South American pyramids and swirly gigs to some notoriety. Her paintings have been featured across the world, but the majority of her income gets funneled into the Conquistador's Purse, a charity she set up in Peru to help everybody affected by the darkness. She's uber excited to catch the killer. I mean, this was one of Jackson Elias was one of her best friends, went through this craziness together, camaraderie and so forth, wants to get to the bottom of it. Excited to see what she'll do next.
That's right. You, unfortunately, well, maybe fortunately, I should say, you did not witness the murder of Jackson Elias. Probably a good thing. May have spun you even more deeper into that hole that you've entered.
Indeed.
Pat is playing Veronica West. Can you tell us about Veronica, please?
On the subject of people who did witness the murder of our dearly departed, among others, Veronica West is a stone-cold black widow and quite notorious throughout New York, and has done quite well for herself in spite of her notoriety. You know, there's no such thing as a bad publicity stunt, after all. And on the subject of publicity stunts, she's in it to win it with regards to solving this cold case over Elias's death, because she knows in her heart of hearts that she will be the woman who solves this murder and gains all the press.
That's right. That's not the first room she's been found in with a dead man before.
And it won't be the last.
Excellent. Yes, I love that. Louis. Jeff. Louis is also returning.
He was a little terrified all of a sudden.
Returning from the Peru adventure that we did previously here. Tell us about Louis Salvatore.
Yeah. Louis Salvatore is a private investigator from New York, from Flushing. He lives in Flushing, or he's from Flushing, lives in Queens. He's in his early 50s at this point. He is a high functioning alcoholic. Pretty good investigator, but his alcoholism has certainly caused some trouble for him. He has an estranged wife. The two of them, they don't communicate. Haven't really talked about that too much, but there's some dark stuff in the past that has kind of kept them separated, and things have just not gotten better. He has some mob ties where he has been doing some blackmail gigs for the Maranzano faction of the New York Mafia, the kind of blackmailing various politicians and things like that, and has been involved in some of that from time to time. But he still likes to do legitimate jobs, and not only is Jackson Elias's like death a personal thing, but at the same time, it's also he's finally doing something that has value as opposed to just like, screwing over politicians and left and right. So I think that's might be what's driving him at this point. Plus, just being reunited with an old friend in Gwen is probably enough to kind of give him purpose today.
Very nice. And you'll notice that Evan's section is left blank because I'm going to kill him right away, like in every game. So I'm just going to leave it blank going forward. How many river bees are we going to go through here? No, I confess before the stream, I noticed that I didn't ask Pete to update the overlay, so I apologize. So it does not have Evan's character's information. We'll have it next week. I promise. Unless I kill you this week.
Yeah, we're preparing.
Tell us about Ryan, your character.
Yeah, I'm playing Ryan Gravefall. He is a immigrant from Switzerland. He came when he was fairly young. He is a mountain of a man, to easily describe him. He's much older now, but when he came over, he was just a young kind of teenager that didn't know what he was going to do with his life, and he met Jackson Elias. I was kind of like a bodyguard when he went to the Amazons. I was more of like a muscle person, and that's where he experienced some things. But unlike Gwen, he kind of made it pique his curiosity more so than put him into like a negative mindset. So he kind of settled down as a librarian, and since then has been studying the occult and trying to learn more about kind of what all of this might mean, or what if there is any meaning to any of it. And he's still a really big guy, but he's kind of settled down from beating people up to being more of that side, maybe.
Right. Very good. All right. Time to get into the recap. This is where it's tough because so much information is coming out.
Wait, hold up.
Sessions. Yes.
Ryan's a librarian?
Yeah.
That's the big reveal.
Double doors on that.
You just dropped that like it was nothing.
Yeah, he's an occultist. That's his occupation.
Big.
Okay, you can go on that.
Big old built dude. He's
big old occultist.
Literally. Okay, so we kicked off last week with the funeral for Jackson Elias. That is where the party of investigators came together finally, and they've kind of decided to work together to look into this a little further. Even though nothing formal has really happened, they were approached by two men at the funeral, the only other two guests there. One of them being Jonah Kensington, who is the owner of Prospera House, the publisher of all of Jackson Elias's books, and Carlton Ramsey, who was Jackson Elias's lawyer, and invited them to the reading of the will, as they have all been named in it by Jackson Elias themselves. From there, you got into a little tussle with some reporters that were looking for a scoop. Some names are called. Gwen punched one of them right in the face. They fell in the snow. It was great. Where did we go from there? We went. So the other things we did were
Emerson Imports.
Emerson Imports. You went to Emerson Imports. You went and spoke to Mr. Emerson, who revealed that he is the importer for the sole importer for Kenya. That's a big thing. He brings in goods from Kenya, and he is sends almost all of them over to Mr. Silas Nakwan, who runs a local little curios shop by the name of Juju House. And that's all he could really tell you. That's all the information he really had for you. And that kind of checks out because on Jackson Elias's body, you found a card for Emerson Imports, and on the back was the name Silas Nakwan written on the back of it. So that kind of solved that riddle. From there, we called Harvard to find out about the book that Mr. Jackson Elias had requested. You spoke to a lady there who's willing to help you out with your investigations as they go on, but she was unable to explain what happened. The book just vanished in thin air. It was what was it? Africa's Dark Sects was the name of the book that he was requesting. And there was an odd smell or odor in the library the day of its disappearance. From there, you went and accosted an old man, Dr. Mordecai Lemming, in his residence. You went and saw him. He was the gentleman who the New York Police Department brought in the previous murders of people or victims who were found with the carvings in their forehead that Jackson had. And he wasn't able to offer up much. He believed it was a copycat killer who had probably read something along the lines of this cult or tribe in Kenya. They're also from Kenya. Coincidence? Who knows? And that the man who committed these crimes is on death row, and this latest one of Jackson Elias must be another copycat killer who had seen and heard of these previous killings. And he also spoke that he's an acquaintance of Silas Naquan, so the name came up twice in the last session. So everybody said, we need to go to Juju House. And I think that pretty much covers the previous session. Is that...
Mention the will reading too?
Yeah, we're going to do the will. We're going to
Yeah.
start with the reading of the will this week. We're going to sideline right into that before we get all crazy and start kicking in Juju House's doors here.
An extremely expensive book somehow found its way into Seamus Rook's
That's
pocket.
right.
And he was in the process of selling that to the museum as we faded to black last week.
That's right. What was it worth in like today's dollars?
It's like $3,000
$3K or
Yeah,
something.
at the very least, yeah.
All right, very good.
I'm sure you made exactly as much as it was worth from Veronica.
Oh, the old man also really liked Amazing Grace. He just played it at just unreasonable
Really
volumes
just-
all the time.
Just constantly, nonstop.
Which
I
is
feel like he was
right.
trying to tell us something. I feel like there was like subtle undertones. Like he was trying to admit to the crime. Like there is a copycat, and I'm that copycat. I just didn't pick up on it.
Yeah.
We'll only realize that in 2 sessions from now, though.
Yes.
Yeah, where he pulled the mask off. It's like, oh, it was old man Lemmings this whole time.
Which reminds me, we were
Pull your
using...
mouth out, mask off. How sweet the sound! It saved a wretch like me.
We're using Sirenscape. We need to thank Sirenscape for supplying us with the official sound set for the Masks of Nyarlathotep adventure. They were kind enough to give it to us, and it is enhancing the experience. So we'll be using that tonight as well. So if you hear sounds like last time, it scared people. All of a sudden, there was crows cawing in their ears, and they thought it was outside or they're playing video games. No, it is Sirenscape, adding to the overall experience. So I'm gonna say that we're gonna kick things off this week with the reading the will. I think we had a day or two in between, but we're just gonna kind of fast forward to that.
Luck roll.
Oh, thank you, Evan, for reminding me. All right, everybody, roll your luck. I always forget.
What do you roll again?
You roll luck, like luck skill. Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
Roll your luck.
The ability, right?
Click it.
Yes.
Yep. And if it's higher than your current luck, you roll 2d10 plus 10 and add that to your score. If it's lower, 1d10 plus 5 and add that to your luck. Your
Wow,
luck
you still get
pool.
some.
Thank
Holy
you.
moly, I got way too much luck.
Well, you need to spend it.
Yeah.
And because of my talent, I get a bonus D10, so I'm still rolling 2d10.
I look at this.
Whoa.
It really encourages you to spend that luck every session because it does cap out at 99. So if you've got it and there's a roll you really, really want to make, you might as well use it because you know it's going to happen at the top of every session.
Yeah.
And then if you start the session with less, the chances of rolling higher than it are pretty good.
Quick question for you.
Yes.
How does one regain HP in Call of Cthulhu? Because we're doing a lot of these time jumps and stuff.
Are you down hit
'Cause
points?
I fell off. I fell off it. Well, I didn't fall off it. I fell
yeah.
with a fire escape at one point.
Yeah,
I can look it up. It's fine. Don't
Okay.
worry about it. We can go ahead. I'll look
Yeah,
it
if
up.
you could take a...
You recover 1 hit point per day
Oh, yeah.
if you have no major wounds. Otherwise, make a Constitution check for removal of major wounds each week.
You don't have a major wound. So a hit point a day. It's been 2 days? 3 days? Well, we're fast forwarding. How many hit points are you down?
Okay. 9.
Woo!
Holy
Give
moly.
yourself 4 hit points.
If you're relaxing in a comfortable environment or have medical care, you can add 1d up to 2d3 a week.
Give yourself 4
It's
hit
a
points.
week.
As an alcoholic, I would argue that he is constantly relaxed.
And always comfortable.
Always comfortable.
We're good to go. Thank you.
And super healings thanks to his magical liver.
This gin is just, it's like a healing potion.
Right?
This ad brought to you
Medicine?
by the 20s. Medical understanding? Who needs it? Eat opium.
Eat opium. All right, let's jump to Monday, January 19th. You're going to the office of one Carlton Ramsey, and you're going to the reading of the will. His office is located on 124th and Lenox Avenue. How are we getting there? Are we all taking Veronica's car again?
I'm
A
walking.
fucking snazzy car.
You're walking. It's cold, freezing January.
I'm from Switzerland. It's okay.
More snow than usual, but okay, you're walking. Okay, you're leaving ahead of time.
Yeah, Seamus would have probably stopped by her house and said, "Yeah, can I get a lift? I don't know the city very well yet."
Oh, please. Don't mind me. I'm just powdering my face before we go. Feel free to help yourself to some of my bountiful beverages
Refreshments?
while we're waiting for anybody else who might want to use my car.
Well, that's very kind of you, Veronica. But I don't actually drink. But if you got some milk or something around the place, I could do it with a shot of the old cow.
Milk doesn't suit my stomach. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'll just raid your fridge.
That's fine. I don't like leftovers anyway.
All right.
And is anybody else gonna bum
Yeah.
her car, or is everybody else
Yeah.
walking?
Just Ryan is walking. He's leaving an hour ahead of the rest of you and being difficult.
Is there a like a? No, never mind. I was gonna make a joke.
That
Oh.
crazy rain. His dogs are going to be barking by the time he gets there. A big fella like that, pounding on those poor dogs. He's a pushover. I don't know.
All right. So load in the car. Ryan, you leave early.
Doesn't seem to
Put
like a cut of my jib.
put your coat on. You head out in the cold. Everyone else, you leave about an hour later. It's a short drive to Mr. Ramsey's office. Like I said, it's located in Harlem. It is a small office building. It's actually located in a much larger building. It's located in a I wouldn't say a high rise, but it's about 9 stories. And his office is located in this building. And you get out, and he lets you know that it's on the 2nd floor. So this building is older. It doesn't have one of those fancy elevators. So you take the stairs up to the 2nd floor, follow the directions, and you find his office. There is a glass door. It's kind of frosted glass. You can't see inside. It says Carlton Ramsey Esquire on the outside on the glass. Do you knock? Do you just walk in? Ryan's standing there waiting for you.
I knock lightly on the door.
Sure. You knock lightly on the door, and you hear shuffling on the inside, and a man's voice is, I'll be right there. I'll be right there. Hold on one moment. And it's a familiar voice, the same man you heard at the funeral. And you hear some shuffling of feet across the wooden floor, and eventually the door opens slowly, and you see again. Remember, he's quite fidgety, and he was kind of like distracted and wiry, and he's kind of like that again. He looks at you, the four of you, and he looks over your shoulders and kind of down the hallway and see if anybody else is there, and then come in, please, come into my office. And he swings it open for you, and you see it's a small office, just like it's like a single room. He's got a big desk, a chair in front of the window. There's bookshelves on either side. Because it's January, the radiator is on. It's kind of banging every once in a while. And there's enough chairs for all of you.
Would it be a psychology roll to determine if I can get any glimpses into why he might be so jittery?
Yeah, go ahead and make me a psychology roll.
All right.
You beat me to it.
Anybody can make
bummer.
it. You can all make it. Remember, this is how we're going to upgrade our stats here by failing rolls.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Where
use
is it?
13 points of luck to pass that.
Okay. So if you use luck, the only thing to remember is it doesn't fill it in, like it doesn't count towards succeeding. It doesn't fill
Oh
in
no, you're right. Never mind. I
Yeah.
don't do that then. Fuck
Okay.
that.
Okay. All right. So all of you are
Yeah.
kind of reading him.
I'm
And
gonna
he's-
use my reroll.
Cryptic.
You can
He's
use
the
a reroll.
greatest liar of all time.
You Oh, look
Never
at Megan
mind.
spending the
Fuck
luck.
that.
Megan,
Totally am.
you study him. You hadn't met him before the funeral, but it seems to be just like his natural disposition. He's just a very cautious man. Like, he goes over his desk, he picks up a pen, and he starts fiddling with it and twisting it. He puts it down, he puts his hand in his pockets. He's always kind of playing with something. It just seems to be his nature, from what you pick up. So he invites you all to sit down. He's got a very neat office, simply decorated, not much to it. And he goes over to a nearby table, and he gets you see him, he grabs a really good bottle of bourbon, which is illegal right now. And he goes over a cupboard and he grabs glasses.
It's like 10 a.m.
And he
This is my kind of will reading.
puts them down on his desk, and he goes, would anybody care for a drink?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I wouldn't mind a sip or two,
Please.
just to get warmed up. You know, cold day.
Two
That is,
fingers.
that is why you walk to the location to warm up. I do not need alcohol.
May I see the bottle before I decide?
Yeah, he hands the bottle over. Yeah, it's very, very, very good. Please, I can't say where I got this from. As you know, it's
Yeah, I was.
Is it
I
a
was
good bottle? Is it a good bottle?
yeah, it's a good bottle of bourbon.
All right.
Looks
come
like
on.
some Canadian whiskey that got smuggled down.
I was expecting a lawyer's office here, not a speakeasy. But you got any water?
Yeah, there's a bathroom attached to it. He goes, there's a sink in there. You can help yourself.
Ah, never mind.
No. Don't say no to this offer. The New York City water is to die for. I know you're not a local. You wouldn't know this, but the water is actually purer than any other city's water.
Well, you think I'm some pushover? You're trying to tell me you got ritzy water? I'm not falling for that, Miss West.
New York unironically does have ritzy water, but I digress.
I don't know. You blue nose.
We also
That's
have
all
the
right.
Ritz.
So anyone else? He kind of offers up the bourbon, gives Gwen and Louis theirs.
Say cheers and down it all in one go. Put it on the table. All right.
He offers to pour you another one right away.
Yes, please.
God.
He pours you one. He pours one for himself, and he says to Jackson.
To
He
Jackson.
holds up his glass.
To
This time I'll-
Jackson.
He goes,
Just
I've known Jackson for quite some time. I've been his lawyer the whole time he's been an author. We are quite close. I just can't believe he's gone. I can't believe this has happened. And in the manner that it did. I can't even fathom what you saw that night.
He was
you
twisting.
don't want to know. That was no sight to see. Whoever decided to dump him off wanted to make sure it went right.
Yeah. He seems kind of shaken. And he kind of snaps out of it and he agrees with you. And I didn't mention this at the funeral, but Jackson paid me a visit the day before his death to specifically update his will. And added the 4 of you to it. And you're the only ones. You're the sole people on his will. He didn't say anything explicitly. I got a feeling that he was in fear of something. He wasn't his normal self, his confident self. But he wanted to make sure that his affairs were in order in case the worst should happen.
Did he not have any family or anything?
No one.
He's an orphan.
That's right. He grew up here in the New York orphanage system, and when he was old enough, he left the city and started his writing.
I'm sure with my husband still with me, he would have been put on the will too. Those two were inseparable.
Indeed.
I still
Unfortunately, your husband's name was one of the ones that
Posted.
was removed when he came in here the day prior to his death. And you replaced him.
In many ways, that does seem to be the trend of things. Good ways, of course. Respectful ways.
if you will, should we start with the reading of the will? Is everyone comfortable? Is there anything I can get anyone else?
You've made yourself already far too amenable. Couldn't ask anything more.
Very good, very good. So he goes to his drawer, he takes out a piece of paper, and he starts reading it off to you. I'm going to read this. It's in cursive. I'll read it for the people watching. It's going to be fun to read because the cursive is very interesting here. Where's our reading of the will? This is what we're doing right now. Where's my sound for the reading of the will? It's very faint. Here we go. Greetings from beyond the grave. By now, you know that all I've really left you is a whole heap of trouble. If I were still around to have an opinion on the matter, I would understand if you decided to walk away from it all. Hell, if I'm dead right now, that's a good indication I should have done the same. But you know me, and I know you too well. If you were the kind of person who always did the sensible thing, we wouldn't be much good friends. You have been there when I needed you in the past, and I hope you will be there again, even if it's too late to save me. I've been pulling threads all over the world, and while most of them are still unraveling, I think I'm onto something big. Carlton and Jonah can fill you in more of the details. I've left some of my papers and notes with them, which should help you work out which hornet's nest, sorry, I'm reading this cursive, hornet's nest you need to poke next. I trust you to bring my killers to justice. Of course, I'm assuming I was murdered. It will be just plain embarrassing if I was run over by a trolley. Follow my investigation to its bloody end and seek out the truth. I'm not asking you to finish my book. None of you can write worth a damn. Your friend always, Jackson.
I remember why I liked this man. Genuinely liked this man.
So Carlton
He's
Ramsey
badass.
puts the letter down and he turns to all of you. He says, I have been given full power of attorney for Jackson's estate. You have inherited all of his wealth that he accumulated through the sales of his books. As you know, the last one was sold quite well regarding his time in Peru, and he kind of glances at Gwen and Louis. So there is a sizable amount of money there, and he has asked that those funds be used to continue his research and to go around the world and get to the bottom of this.
My goodness.
With that, as long as we're not going to LA, there are people that definitely don't want me show back up in LA. I got to be very quiet about the West Coast. Everything else, that's a sweet day.
Well, you're gonna have to speak to Jonah. He's got more information than I do on where you might want to head next. I know, though, I was told it is regarding the Carlisle expedition. You're supposed to continue his investigation to that. He believes that they weren't killed or murdered by locals. There's something more to it, and he had uncovered the truth about the investigation, or the expedition. I don't know what that is. I don't want to know. I don't want to end up like poor Jackson. So this is where you have to make that choice. Do you want to pick up his trail, knowing full well that you could be found murdered on the floor of a hotel room, disemboweled?
Do we have any choice, Carlton?
Well, if you do, you can walk away now. And that'll be the end
Nobody's
of it.
going to find my corpse disemboweled on the floor of a hotel. At least not a hotel of that nature.
And he rubbed out one of my own, so I'm in it because he was good to me. He was a good guy, and what happened to him? Yes, we just can't let that happen. And Louis,
I
happened to
don't
him
think we
is
can. I don't think we can. I always kind of assumed I wasn't really going to live a very long life anyway, and hit 50 recently, and I
you're
feel
over
like
the
I
hill,
might have
Louis.
I kind of outstayed my welcome as is. So It's fine. What better way than travel in the world? Man, I barely even traveled outside New York. Peru was like the most extravagant trip I ever took. So if it's half as interesting as that, sure.
Aha, yes. I too relate to the peasant notion that one hasn't been all across the globe.
Ryan will take the bottle and he'll pour one for everybody and kind of just toast with no words.
All right. I don't normally make the giggle water, Ryan, but since you poured me one, you God bless you. I'll have a drink with you. If this goes to my head, somebody make sure I get home all right, or gets over to Veronica all right, because she's got a much nicer couch than you.
You can always walk. Your legs will still work even if you're a little drunk.
You're always.
This is why I have a driver, darling.
Yes, also why you carry fake tears in your purse. I understand all of your shit.
No, actually, the flask is full of alcohol. The fact that it abrases the eyes is a little known and interesting tidbit.
I'll make sure to bring tissues next time.
I have those in my purse as well. No need. I have a very nice
Anyway.
handkerchief. You should consider getting one. I know this embroiderer does marvelous work.
Is this all he left us? Just like this letter with no real information in it, and money, and just says go.
No,
did he leave us clues?
He kind of like
Something?
jitters, like when you speak. He's like, oh, and he's kind of shaken up. He goes, no. You must go see Jonah. You need to see Jonah at Prospero House. He has Jackson's last communications before he passed, and he has some of his research that he sent over. That would be the best place to go from here. You met him at the funeral as well. He was the gentleman who was with you, the man with the curly red hair.
Okay.
I suggest you go there as soon as possible, and he'll be able to fill you in. He is more than aware of what's going on here, and he's also been instructed in the will, as well as myself, to help the two of you out as much as possible to get to the bottom of this.
We have an
I guess
address for
that's-
his place?
Yeah, he gave you his address at the funeral. You know where it is, but Carlton will remind you that it's at Lexington Ave near 35th Street.
I will start walking now.
Yes. He did give you the address at the funeral, though, and told you to just drop by. He was open on Monday again. I think he told you he was closed over the weekend. We are at Monday again.
Indeed.
All right, so I'm going to say Carlton
I
has a
thank
few
the
more
man
drinks with
profusely
you.
I give him some money.
You offer some money. He says, I can't. This is my job. I'm Jackson's lawyer. I've entrusted with his power of attorney, and I'm going to look after his assets.
Those
He
who
was
do
a good friend.
jobs receive tips, and it is because those giving the tips truly appreciate the service that you have provided.
Why don't you make me a credit rating roll?
Yeah, I'm going to. I don't think this is one that I get to roll at the end of the night, but god damn it if I do.
You have a good credit rating, though, don't you? You have a really
I have
good
great
rating.
credit rating. This is the only thing I'm good at.
Oh,
Oh my god! All right, I'm just gonna spend 2 luck
Two
to
luck.
get that to a
2
success.
luck. All right.
But
So-
yeah, I know that's not gonna count towards anything. It would be kind of stupid if I gained money from giving it to this guy.
Sure. 2 luck. So he goes, okay, I will accept it, but I will... Are you comfortable if I donate it? I can't, in good faith, keep this.
It is yours to do with it as you will. I am generous to friends of my friends. This is intended for you. How you choose to use the money I have given you to show my appreciation is entirely up to you.
Very good.
But remember, my friends receive the benefits that I do as well.
He nods. He takes it from you. He doesn't even look. He doesn't count it. He just takes it, opens a drawer on his desk, puts it in there, and closes the drawer. And thanks you once again and offers you another drink.
She doesn't take another drink. She's just having one.
Turns to Louis, Gwen. The bottle's like halfway done at this point. Offers you some more of this delicious, delicious Canadian whiskey.
If we would be, right?
Louis will turn it down, but then as we leave, he'll turn back in and be like, "Hey, one more thing. Let me
Oh,
just
you're
go
doing
ahead
the
and get
Columbo.
that." And then every time every chance I got, I'll come back and one more thing, and I'm just gonna grab the bottle. Like, this is what Elias would have wanted. All right, see ya. And then I will back out with a new bottle of bourbon.
All right.
Seamus looks at him. He's like, you're an upright guy for a mouthpiece. Just make sure that nobody comes around and bops you like they did with Jackson.
Kind of like
head down.
Jumps and kind of jitters at that, and he like looks out the window. He goes, yeah. Thank you. And like as you all leave, you can hear locking the doors behind you. Deadbolt going down.
I tell you, that guy had the heebie-jeebies. He is not cut out for this stuff.
No, he seems to have always had the heebie-jeebies. I've met him once before. The man could not hold a wine glass at a table without spilling it if it was, gonna save his life.
Let's be fair, his client was disemboweled in a hotel room and his intestines were spilt onto the floor. I feel like he's entitled to a wee bit of heebie-jeebies, just saying.
You do make a very good point, Louis. That is a very good point. Perspective. That's what my dad always said. Get the perspective right, son.
With age comes wisdom, they say, huh? And then he'll take a swing of the bourbon right out of the bottle. And
My mother said something different. She said with experience comes wisdom.
Just hold on a second. I think I may have forgotten something in Carlton's office. I'll be right back.
Sure. So you go back in, you knock on the door, or
Yeah, I'm just gonna knock on the door.
you hear his voice. Who is it?
It's just Gwen.
There's like a pause. It takes a
Come on.
moment,
Come on, I know you're in there. Open the damn door.
and then you can hear the locks being undone, and he just like opens it a crack, and he looks at you, and you can see like when he sees it's you, there's like relief because it's frosted glass. He can't see out who's standing there. You can just see like a shadow on the other end. He goes, yes.
So I was thinking if you didn't, the money that Miss West gave you, and looks around, reaches into her bra, pulls out a piece of paper, and hands it over to Carlton. If you're ever looking for a place to put that money, follow the instructions on the paper.
He kind of looks at it a little bit, and but he doesn't read it completely. Goes, very good. Yes. Is there anything else?
No. Thank you for your hospitality.
Did you see anybody else out there when you came back?
No. Are you waiting for something? Are you expecting?
No.
something?
No. I'm just on edge after the other night.
Well, make sure that you give us a call if you need anything, or if you see anything, or anybody comes to see you. We have means.
Yes. Be sure to wire my office or call when you do leave New York, so I am aware of where you go.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Close the door and all the deadbolts and locks and everything again.
Go
Alright.
back down.
Very good. Should we head to Prosper? We finally have the plot hook. The adventure has been given to you now. After
I think my character in the cinematic version of this, while she's at the wheel, turns towards the camera and directly, states a verbatim ad for Prospero House, New York City located, providing you the best of all services with books that you can't get your hands off of or your eyes out of. Prospero House. Look them up on Twitter, which is what a bird makes, the noise of it,
Tweet.
talking about how much they love Prospero House. Those birds always talking.
Are you talking to a wall? I don't understand.
That's the cinematic version, though. In real life, she just drives.
I imagine Ryan just staring at her like confused.
I think she might have had one up there. I don't know. I only saw her drink one, but
This must be the heebie-jeebies you keep referring to.
Yes, Ryan. I think that's what it is. It must be the heebie-jeebies, or it could be that she's 3 sheets to the wind. I don't know. But either way, it's okay. I'm sure she drives fine.
All right.
No, I drive better drunk.
We make our way to Prospero House next. Lexington Ave and 35th Street. You pull up outside. It's just a kind of like a single building. It's modest on the outside. You see in the window, written on the window, or painted, I should say, not written, painted on the window is Prospero House in big, bold letters. Publisher. And there's a single door in there, and you can see from the outside that there's kind of like a little waiting room. There's some chairs. It looks like there's a lady at a desk. You're assuming a secretary. And then like a closed door office behind her. And just kind of looking through the window, that's what you see. And it looks... It's not super clean in there. But it's not a disaster either. Do you all head on into Prospero House?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
So-
you go.
Matt,
Yes.
Veronica takes a second to look around herself and get a good read of the place before going in. She was not expecting it to be so dingy by her
Yeah.
standards.
Well, so Prospero House is not known for like putting out or going after bestsellers. It goes after a niche audience with most of its books, but they do well for themselves. You might find the odd one, on the counter at the drugstore, but these aren't New York Times bestsellers that are coming out of this publisher.
Fair enough.
Before Seamus goes in, he kind of discreetly around the street to see if anybody is watching or looking for people entering into Prosperity House.
Yeah, so you're trying to spot hidden?
Yep.
All right.
Sorry, I was also kind of trying to coyly reference that as well.
Spot hidden for me as
Trying
well,
to spot
then,
hidden.
please. Louis doesn't even need to roll this. Oh, major success from Seamus.
I'm gonna spend my reroll on that.
Okay.
Hey! Wait,
All right.
no, that's Megan's roll. Oh,
just pretend it's yours.
All right.
No. I have one reroll left. I'm gonna save that for another roll, but I just don't spot hidden.
Okay. So all of you kind of case the joint. You look around. It's crowded. It's a Monday afternoon. There's people hustling everywhere. Cars driving. Folks are going up and down the sidewalk. As you're standing there, I'm going to say the door opens and you see a man holding like a briefcase or in his arms or a carrying bag, a messenger bag sort of thing, kind of pushes past you and he doesn't look at any of you. He pushes his way by and walks out. But I'm going to say Gwen and Seamus, specifically Seamus, you notice there's a police car parked across the street. And Seamus, you actually figured these guys were tailing you from your last spot to here, this cop car. Now, they're on the other side of the road. They're parked, and the two of you notice them kind of looking over at you, and when they notice you, they turn away. But they stay there parked, and they start talking to one another.
Hey there, Louis. You see that cruiser over there?
What about it?
With the boys in blue? They've been tailing us. They've been following us since we left that lawyer's office.
Yeah, they're not particularly good at their jobs. If they're this wide open about it, we could just go say hello, offer them a drink, a little nibble, a little nip, or we could just go on inside.
I think we should go say hello to them.
All right,
I'm a big fan of the boys in blue.
All
As long as they're not putting bracelets on me.
Ryan, you're there as well. You've walked up, so everybody's there. All right. So Seamus and Louis, you want to go say hi to your tail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will
A
go
little
to.
banana in the tailpipe action.
I'm assuming I just notice what they're doing and let them go. I'm watching though.
We got Axel
I'll,
Salvatore over here.
I'll fill you in, Miss West. Those boys are going to visit the boys in blue across the street. Let's just watch and see what happens.
You and I are of the same mind. I visited the boys in blue the other day.
Oh, perhaps you
Yeah.
know one.
Perhaps I know more than just one. Let's see who they're talking to.
Excellent.
All right, so the three of you cross the busy street. You kind of avoid puddles and slush as you go across the way from the snow that's been falling here and melting underneath the tires and the.
I think Louis doesn't. I think he just
All right, just
splashes
splash
into
right into.
He's a mess. Yeah.
And the two police officers in the car. They're both sitting in the front. They see you coming, and they sit there and they wait till you approach. And the one on the driver's side, he cranks down his window and goes, "You got a problem?"
Hey, officers, we just noticed that you were following us from the lawyer's office and thought we'd ask if you wanted us to pick you up a book or something when we go inside.
And generally, I just want to say we appreciate, the just the tender care and service that you pay in New York constituents. It's very nice of you to just be so concerned about our safety like this.
I've never had a pair of bulls come up and protect me like that in Chicago. I tell you, this is New York City. What a town.
They look at each other, and the driver looks back and he just buzz off. Keep walking.
So that's a no to the books, then?
He just
Just
kind of
checking.
looks at you. Do we need to take you in? Are you disturbing the peace here?
You don't need to put me in the nippers.
He turns to his partner. I think they're disturbing the peace. I think we gotta take these fellas in.
You guys are a riot. You don't need to clap no bracelets on us. We're going. We'll get you a cup of coffee on the way out. How's that?
Yeah. Sounds good, pal.
Do they have anything in their car, like any files out, anything like lingering, and anything like that? Like
Yeah, no,
mugshots
you don't
of
need to.
anybody?
You don't need to roll that or anything. There's nothing like on the seats. There's nothing on the dash. Anything like that. It's just the two officers. There's nobody in the back.
Okay.
There's nothing there.
Do they have a license plate?
Yes.
Can we get the digits
Yes.
in case they come back?
Yes. LYX512.
Did we notice names on their uniforms?
Do you want to read their badge names?
Yeah.
All right. For that, we're gonna roll. Yeah, I guess spot hidden. We keep
Spot
rolling
hidden?
spot hidden, which Louis doesn't
Very
even
useful.
to roll for.
Right.
Oh my, Ryan
Holy shit.
critically fails. But Louis on the other hand,
James as well.
and Seamus. Okay.
I'm not quite as good as Louis, but I'm not bad at the spot hidden.
Literally, I have only one thing I can do good in my life. That's it. That's all I can do.
Well, based on your liver, I think you're drinking pretty good too. But
That's fair. That's fair.
It just doesn't translate to anything. It's a pretty useless gift.
Yeah, that's
He's
fair
got-
too.
he's got to go.
I haven't really leveraged it for anything, if you think about it.
Right?
All right.
You've just been doing it for years.
O'Brien and Doyle are the names on their badges.
Oh, those are proper New York names right there. O'Brien and Doyle.
Couple of Irish.
Irishmen, huh?
Yep.
No, right.
All right. Say move along, unless you want to come in and answer some questions.
That's all right. Appreciate your time, officers.
Okay. So you go back to the others across the street.
Did you learn anything, boys?
I think they were just looking at Veronica's gams, but they'll probably still be waiting for
Does
us when
seem
we
to be
come
the
out.
case. Well, maybe next play date you'll get some more information from them before leaving.
Yeah, they told us to scram up. They were going to put us in the bracelets. So we're not quite as good as talking our way out of trouble as you are.
It's a fine art.
Very good. Shall we go into Prospero House?
Indeed.
After you, gentlemen.
Yeah. You walk inside, and as soon as you do, your nose is kind of like assaulted with the smell of old cigarette or cigar smoke in here. It's kind of like ingrained in the walls, you assume, and the ceiling. Like I said, there's a small little waiting room with like 4 chairs, and there's a woman in her early 20s, and she's typing away on a typewriter, and she looks up. Do you have an appointment?
Hey Matt, because I donated some of my drawings to Elias's book, would I know the receptionist?
Yeah, I'm gonna. You have maybe stopped by the office. You know, her name's Barbara, and you can jog her memory. She sees a lot of would-be authors and stuff come through here. She doesn't recognize you right off the bat, but you have met her and you know her name.
There. And do we have an appointment?
I know. You guys decided just to crash on in.
We don't need one.
Excuse me?
Rain, I got this. Barbara, this is me, Gwen Murphy. We met a couple of months back. I was helping with Jackson's book. I provided all those pyramids. You know, the one you liked with the star on top? Said it reminded you of Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
what are you doing here, Gwen?
Wow, you heard the terrible news about Mr. Elias. We were all at the funeral, and we've just come from Carlton's office, and we desperately need to get in to speak with Jonah. It's rather life or death, to be honest.
Oh, yes, Mr. Kensington has been expecting you. Hold on, one moment. Just wait here. And she kind of gets up off her chair. She goes over the door and she cracks it open. You hear his voice. Damn it, Barbara! There are no appointments right now. What are you doing? Don't just come in here. Oh, the Jackson's friends are here to see you. The ones you met at the funeral. You told me to let you know when they arrive. Ah! Yes, show them in. She opens the door and there's the large gentleman with the curly red hair. It's graying. He's sitting at a big desk. He's got kind of like manuscripts and books piled up all over this office. It's like a complete mess in here. He's got a big cigar you can see sitting on his desk in an ashtray that's currently burning. And he gets up and welcomes you all in. Please, come in.
I try to stride in confidently, passing Ms. Murphy on the way, and I turn to her as I do, and I say, "Poor Barbara." And as I stride in through the doorway, I say, "Mr. What's his name again?"
Kensington.
Oh, Kensington.
Mr. Kensington, you remind me so much of my late husband. Oh, bless his soul. And I
Miss
sit
West,
next to him.
pleasure to see you again. I apologize for Barbara. She's not the best help, but she's the help I have.
She was just doing her job. I don't understand why you're yelling at Barbara.
One does what they can with their help.
Indeed. Please come in. Can I offer you a drink?
I don't drink.
Like, it's just like it's been a really nice day. I gotta say.
This is Jackson Elias's death is the best thing that's ever happened to Louis.
It's just a really weird, like,
Everywhere we
juxtaposition. Really sad things in the background, but it's causes such beautiful things. Day drinking. This is great. Yes.
Yeah, oh
please.
yes, I'll have some. Of course. He pours you some rum.
Oh, shit.
Is it Canadian rum or?
No, this isn't Canadian rum.
Okay.
It's from south of the border.
You know, you can get a lot of trouble if those boys down the street knew you had this up here.
He just kind of smiles as he pours you drinks. And cheers! And he takes a big swig. You're throwing that out there to him and just kind of chuckles.
So I'm drinking it too. I'm
sure
making
he won't be selling
conversation.
anybody. And he pours you some more.
Oh, we're all friends here.
I know.
Yeah, we're not gonna drop no dime on the coppers, but I'm gonna pass on the drink there because I'm a bit of a lightweight.
That's your choice.
Don't touch the hooch too much.
So I take it you've come from Carlton's. Given the day and the time, this was supposed to be the will reading today.
That is
Most
correct.
a strange one, that.
Indeed. He takes another drink.
Then again, Elias never did anything ordinary. That's why we like him.
Yes, he was a close friend of mine. And he
You know.
made me quite wealthy.
I know.
Takes another drink. You're here for some information, I suppose, and to take up his quest. As crazy as that sounds.
Yeah, it seems to be the case.
Something of the sort.
If you ask me, I think the police theory about the cult is correct. He's always been infatuated with these damn cults. And I think it's finally caught up with him for once.
But if you'd have seen what we had seen in his hotel room when his guts was splayed out like that, and those crazy people were running around with knives and screaming hoobie-cheebies at us, I think you might think that maybe he had been onto something.
Well,
That was not no normal thing.
he claims that a blood cult massacred the Carlisle expedition, but not all of the principals of the expedition were killed, despite what was reported in the papers.
Oh. Now you do have my attention. Undivided.
He walks around all of you and goes to the door. Barbara, get me Elias's files. Don't keep these people waiting.
Just like right there, man. You don't gotta yell. You just ask her nicely. Just could you
I will
please-
walk over to Barbara and grab the files from her.
Oh, it's Barbara's job. But thank you. He takes the file and from you and he goes, let me get this in order here. Okay. So, Mr. Elias sent me a wire from Hong Kong to say his inquiries were proceeding nicely. And he takes out a paper and he hands it to the group of you to share it with you. Is that it? That's not it.
Ooh.
Everyone reaches for it at the same time, and we
And
tear
it's
it apart
in-
accidentally. Oh no!
There we go. I'll show it. Oh, is that the one? Did I show you the right one? I don't know. These are all they're all good.
Matt, this says someone named Nyarlathotep killed.
Oh
I think we might
no!
have spoiled something.
No, there's a bunch of handouts here. But I'll read them out for people at home and I'll read them to you. So the first one's a letter. It's dated August 8th, 1929 from Nairobi. Dear Jonah, big news! There's a possibility that not all of the members of the Carlisle expedition died. I have a lead. Though the authorities here deny the cult angle, the natives sing a different story. You wouldn't believe the stories. Some juicy notes coming your way. This one may make us all rich. Blood and kisses, Jay. He gives that's what the letter says. He gives it to all of you.
Was that a common
Blood
phrase you
and
use? Blood and kisses? That's a little.
It's just a joke. It's just a joke. All these crazy adventures. You've all been involved with him. These cults and such. Vampires are the last one. Come on now. Blood and kisses.
Vampires. Don't be ridiculous.
Right.
The expeditioners do tend to come up with crazy monikers for things.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
crazy.
indeed. The father of maggots? Who would believe such a thing? Preposterous.
Hard to decipher that when you're writing up a museum report.
I reach over and grab the bottle from Jonah.
Oh my, yes. Help yourself.
Thanks.
Can I give you a glass?
I don't need a glass. Thanks.
Indeed. After that, I had not heard from Elias until the middle of last month, which is 1924. It's you're in December 19, or you're January now, so it would have been December of 1924. So that note was dated from August of 24. He wired me from London, and he sent a very excited, a bit crazy sounding telegram.
I look over to Rook.
He said he'd been in London for a few days, where he dug up a lot of stuff, a lot of information. He said unbelievable things that he'd seen. And he mentioned some sort of conspiracy of monstrous worldwide proportions. He also mentioned that there's a timetable that he needed to find the missing pieces. He mentioned needing to go to Australia, but wouldn't or couldn't explain anymore. He came here, he got passage on a freighter by the name of, what was it, Falarp? Some strange name, and he was here the next morning.
Wait, what did he do with Falarp?
That was the name of the freighter that he got passage on. It's P-H-A-L-A-R-O-P-E is the name
From
of the freighter.
Falarp.
Hoffalarp.
Falarp. But he made good on his promise, and he sent me over some notes, and he takes that out of the dossier and gives it to the rest of you. Damn it, Barbara! There's a coffee stain on this one. All right. This is a long one. There's a lot of notes here, but I'll read it. I'll read for the folks who are the viewers. It says, Set 1 of the Nairobi Notes sets forth the offices, officials, and tribes which Elias visited, searching for material concerning cults and cult rituals. Elias mentions Roger Corden, the colonial undersecretary for internal affairs. However, he notes that nothing conclusive was learned. Elias discounts the official version of the Carlisle massacre. Set 2 describes his trip to the massacre site. He notes particularly that the earth there is completely barren, and that all the tribes of the region avoid the place, saying it is cursed by the god of the black wind, whose home is in the nearby mountaintop. Set 3 is an interview with Johnston Kenyatta, who says that the Carlisle murders may have been performed by the cult of the Bloody Tongue. He says that the cult is reputedly based in the mountains, and that its high priestess is part of the Mountain of the Black Wind. Elias is politely skeptical, but Kenyatta insists upon the point. In the notes, Elias records that regional tribes fear and hate the Bloody Tongue, that tribal magic is of no protection against the cult, and that the cult's god is not of Africa. Set 4 follows up on the Kenyatta interview. Elias confirms from several good sources that the Bloody Tongue exists, though he finds no first-hand evidence of it. Tales include children stolen for sacrifice, and creatures with great wings are said to come down from the mountain of the Black Wind and carry people off. The cult worships a god known to folklorists, one fitting no traditional African pattern. Elias lists Sam Mariga railway station, Neville Jerim, Dr. Startit, Lieutenant Selkirk, and Colonel Endicott as people he questioned. Set 5 is a single sheet reminding Elias that the Cairo-based portion of the Carlisle itinerary must be examined carefully. He believes that the reason which prompted Carlisle's Kenyan side trip is on the Nile. Set 6, there's a lot here. I said there's a lot. Set 6 is a long interview with Lieutenant Mark Selkirk, leader of the men who actually found the remains of the Carlisle expedition. Importantly, Selkirk says that the bodies were remarkably undecayed for the length of time which they lay in the open, almost as if decay itself wouldn't come near the place. Secondly, the victims had been torn apart as if by animals, though what sorts of animals would pull apart bodies so systematically, he could not guess. Unimaginable, inexplicable. Selkirk agrees that the Nadis may have had something to do with the episode, but suspects that the charges against the ringleaders were trumped up. It wouldn't be the first time, he says, cynically. Finally, Selkirk confirms that no Caucasians were found among the dead, only the corpses of Kenyan bearers who were scattered across the barren plain, despite what was claimed in the inquest. Interesting. Set 7 is another single sheet. Elias ran into a Nails Nelson at the Victoria Bar in Nairobi. Nelson had been a mercenary for the Italians on the Somali-Abyssinian border and had escaped into Kenya after double-crossing his employers. Nelson claimed to have seen Jack Brady alive in Hong Kong less than 2 years before Elias was in Kenya, and long after the Kenyan court declared that Brady and the rest of the expedition was dead. Brady was friendly, though guarded and taciturn. Nelson didn't press the conversation. This report only strengthened Elias's belief that the principal members of the expedition might still be alive. Set 8 discusses a possible structure for the Carlisle book, but is mostly featureless, with entries like tell what happened and explain why.
This is a lot.
Yeah.
I like empty my ash bin, having read through all this, and now I'm like 3 cigarettes in. Oof, this is a lot.
He's still holding the dossier in his hand. You see him kind of go for something else, and he stops. So what do you make of all this?
Sounds like our Bow Jackson was getting himself into some crazy shenanigans with some really awful people, and somebody decided to take him for a long ride. Sounds like I don't know. It sounds like we might have to go to Africa. That's what, 2-3 days, right?
Yeah. That's
no.
a ways. There's Hong Kong in here too.
There's London.
London.
I don't even. I
And
didn't even know
Australia.
Australia was a real place. I thought that was just something out of the books.
We got a buddy
No,
going and
no.
I was from
Britain made that a
Australia.
place like 100 years ago.
Is there any like a cult role I can do for any of this stuff that they're talking about that might like tie some things together?
Not at
we've,
this
like,
point. You have a
learned-
whole bunch of leads right
There's
now.
nothing more.
You've already rolled for the Cult of the Bloody Tongue, I think, previously. Or somebody did here. So there's nothing more you're going to get out of that. It's just you've seen that name now pop up yet again. And it's strengthening. Like, you can see that there is a framework here. Like, Jackson was on to something. And
What's
he's...
interesting is that the Cult of the Bloody Tongue, I mean, it's mentioned here, it's in the mountains in Nairobi, the Black Winds, but like we've got people here in New York tied to the Cult of the Bloody Tongue. So this isn't just some local cult, some local tribe, something like that. This has got legs to it.
And if
Yeah,
someone
I
might be funding it. I don't know.
times,
Yeah, somebody's
this is
gotta
not a
be-
cult from Africa.
Somebody has definitely got to have some deep pockets if they're sending crazy cultists over from Africa.
Well, there is the importer man, that is doing all of the Kenyan imports. He could be
Oh, that's
Shuffling
right. I remember.
Silas.
shuffling cultists in or something,
We
perhaps.
were gonna go have a chat with him over at that Juju house, right?
The Juju house, yes.
Everybody
What
go
else
ahead
did
and...
you got right there?
Yeah, go ahead and
What
make...
do you-
If you want, you can make me a charm, fast talk, or persuade, because you mentioned he's got something, he's like hesitant, he's kind of go back to his desk, he's smoking a cigar, he's watching and listening to all you.
Can I pull my gun out and intimidate?
I also turn to him and I say, it seems like our dear departed rustled some feathers and at the very least has uncovered a truth pertaining to none other than that which the historical community of which I'm a part of considers fact, that the Carlisle expedition was completely destroyed there in Africa. This is important stuff. I can hardly see it stopping here.
Well,
I agree. I agree with you, Miss West. There was something else that's been nagging at my brain as well. There was that. Who was the guy who was convicted of the previous crimes?
oh, some gentlemen in the newspapers. I don't keep up with that hogwash. I don't know. Maybe go to the Times of the police. I can't be bothered with such things.
I think his name was I think Gwen, his name was Hilton Adams.
Yes, that sounds correct.
Now he seems to know the name conveniently.
I knew the name. It's just his character.
It's just he was role playing. The guy would know.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Just role-playing.
So
Yeah.
fast talk, charm,
14 under
persuade.
15, by the way. 14 under 15.
I saw it. So
Fast.
what are you? How you gonna get some information? It looks like he's holding back. He's holding back.
Hey man, you ain't got nothing to fear around us, nothing to worry about. Like we're here to help. Your friend. Jackson worked with you. We're friends. Clearly, we're all on the same page here. We're all trying to help him. No one means anything negative here. So if you've got something else that we should look at, now's a good time to go ahead and show it.
He looks down at the dossier, kind of holds it up, and takes a big drag out of his cigar and puffs it, smoke in the air, and you see. I don't want to sully your memory of Mr. Elias. This last bit, I got this after you arrived in New York, and it's a bit over the edge. The ramblings of a madman.
Oh,
You may have... no, I can't.
Oh, I think
The
you
man's
can.
image will never be
I
sullied to me.
think you should.
I have known him to bear his soul, his dearest thought in those nights that we spent, just the three of us, my husband, him, and me, out on my veranda. I feel as though I know the man's very soul. So, if you are about to show us something that shows it to be of a light you didn't expect, then I would very much like to see it.
Very good.
What a
Barbara,
what a
keep the typing
performance.
down over there. He takes out this small handwritten note. It's not formal like the others. It's scrawled on it. I'll show it to you. This one,
Oh.
thankfully, this one they transcribe in the book for you to read because I cannot read that. So it's literally, it looks like the ramblings of a madman. It says many names, many forms, but all the same and toward one end. Need help. Too big, too ghastly. These dreams like Carlyle's. Check that psychoanalyst's files. All of them survived. They'll open the gate. Why? So the power and the danger is real. Many threads beginning. The books are in Carlyle's safe. Coming from me. Will the ocean protect? Oh, no quitters now. Must tell and make readers believe. Should I scream for them? Let's scream together. ... And it just kind of trails off. Believe is all in capital letters.
Same handwriting as Jackson's. and
Yeah,
everything.
it's messy, but it's the same.
Well, shit.
Well,
You know, you
Can't
understand
say
why I was
something
hesitant to
happened.
share that last one with you. It's the scrawlings of a madman.
sure. But there's some important bits in here, you know, something about Carlisle's safe, this psychoanalyst.
Yeah, what's that about there?
Perhaps it's
do.
I
a
don't know
Maybe.
about psychoanalysts, but the Carlisle estate, it's here in New York. It's about an hour north of the city, over in Westchester on the Hudson. You can always go there.
Cool.
The sister, she lives there now. The one who went and confirmed, Erica Carlisle, the one who confirmed what actually happened with the expedition. You go visit her, see if she'll let
That's
you into
not
the
actually
safe.
that far from my manor out in the north.
Oh, indeed. Perhaps you're
So-
neighbors.
Seamus
She-
looks over at Louis and quietly says, "Hey, Louis, I'm just telling you, I'm a hell of a can opener. So if there's a safe, I'm pretty sure we can get whatever's in it."
Duly noted. It might come in handy. We can try the direct approach, talk to her, see if she'll talk to us. I mean, she was the one who chased down the expedition, right? She found them dead. Wasn't that what the newspaper said? Like she went. and
Gentlemen, I
found
can't
them
be
dead.
implemented in this. Please proceed outside my office. Conduct this talk outside my office.
Get better than what? We're just talking here. We're just
I'm a
talking.
legitimate businessman.
Well, I mean, this is also. Well, I mean, we are just talking about what happened in the news. I mean, she did find the bodies, right? The Carlisle expedition.
Yes.
They all
indeed.
died and
She
she
was the one who
found them.
confirmed her brother's fate and the others. Yes.
So-
Exactly,
She
exactly.
might have more
That
info.
poor woman.
Well, she also
She
lied
died.
about it.
Must
apparently.
have so much to talk about.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that we might have to have a very close conversation with this dame.
Well, good luck getting into a Westchester state. Here she is
What you
armed
trying to say?
guards and high walls and such. And,
Walls.
I'm a neighbor of hers. I don't need to deal with high walls. I could just come over with my famous watermelon salad jello. It's the new thing. Trust me. In
And
20
Louis-
years,
Louis-
everybody will be eating jello.
I don't know about that, Louis. What is that? Is this another one of your?
No, it's
Don't
part
wanna
of it's where you shave the hooves of a cow
Ugh.
so as to get them. Look, I'm part Italian. I'm sorry.
It sounds like she is just making.
I'm a
up
lot
stuff.
Italian, and I don't know nothing about no watermelon Jello
He said-
thing. So anyway,
I just want a cheeseburger. I don't know. I'm not gonna eat no cow hoof. That's not my
Clearly, you're
thing.
not related to a butcher like I am. A distant relative of my mother's.
he says, listen, if you want to get in touch with
Watermelons.
Miss Carlisle, here, reach out to this man. He writes down a name and number on a piece of paper. You pass you a piece of paper. It says Bradley Gray on it. He says, that is her lawyer. He handles over affairs. We've had to call her a few times to get her on the phone and verify or deny things in books in the past. You go through him and he can arrange a meeting for you.
what about this psychoanalyst? Do you know all we might be referring to here?
Not a clue. Your guess is as good as mine, Louis.
So all the while this is going on, Seamus is casing this guy's office,
Mm-hmm.
doing some appraisal, trying to see if there's anything in there worth walking out with.
Sure. So what skill are you looking to use?
Appraise?
Praise? Yeah, go ahead and use that.
You ain't got nothing.
It's
in here.
just, it looks like manuscripts, rejected and accepted, and just piles and piles of like paperbacks that he's published himself. Prospero House paperbacks.
I ain't so good at the reading, so
These dreams, huh?
Jonah, before we go, do you mind if I just grab a pencil and a piece of paper from you?
Be my guest. Barbara can get you one.
No. I can find it myself. Thank you.
Barbara!
It's gonna get shot.
I am going to talk to Barbara.
Barbara! The pencil.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
By the way, I would like to extend my hand to him and say I know how much this means to his loss. It means so much to me as well. If ever you need anything of mine, or if you find somebody that you think might be befitting an introduction, someone who might be carrying on his legacy, I hand my card over.
Yeah, he takes it.
You
Appreciate that, Miss West. And he gives you a copy of his card, Jonah Kensington. Reach out to me if you need information during the investigation.
worry not. You'll be the first one I call.
I'll do what I can.
You strike me as a resilient and resourceful person. And trust me, those I consider resourceful and resilient benefit.
You're good at reading people, Miss West.
She just pays them with money. You really shouldn't look into it this much.
I thought you were talking to Barbara.
Oh, I'm trying.
Very small office area.
I
He's a
can
very
hear
big
you.
person.
Yes.
Hey, Jonah, you got any other correspondence where Elias talked about dreams, visions, anything like that?
No, that's everything. I don't have anything else. I apologize.
By the way, unless anybody actively stops her, Veronica takes all of these papers. For the group, but like physically in her possession.
You seem the least qualified to be handling the papers.
To the contrary, I have a pocketbook.
It is just money. We just got a bunch of money from Elias.
No, I mean, she holds up like her Boston bag, leather bound, already full of other papers. I have a pocketbook.
that's nice,
Just-
Miss West. I carry a satchel myself sometimes.
Yeah, I have a
put 'em on
bag
the
too.
job.
Is this just like a show and tell right now? I am confused.
The most
Yeah.
important documents in New York City are in here, at least those pertaining to
Yourself, probably. Yeah, okay. So maybe we should everybody take a page or something.
Don't worry, you're already in my more prestigious bookkeeping.
I'm talking to Barbara.
Louis would like to bring up with Gwen, though. Like, didn't Tintin talk about like dreams or visions or something, and he started freaking out about it?
Did he ever? Didn't you tell us something about when you and gosh, can't remember his name. Oh God, Jaden came back from the hotel. There was visions there also, wasn't there?
Yeah, I don't know if that was much of a vision or if that. Listen, I know you all didn't believe me at the time, and I know even Jackson didn't believe me, but that happened. Portal opened. There's a thing that was coming out. That we put that to bed. But dreams. I mean, he touched something. Like it was. He put that. He put the thing on his face, and he was messing around with things. You think? Think maybe something similar happened. I mean, we saw what happened to Tintin. He's...
Oh, absolutely. He went maybe, and that would explain the difference in Elias's his mood and like changing of the will and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Good pickup. Good pickup
There
indeed.
is. These gates. Gates, huh? I don't like that word for some reason. We don't know enough yet, though.
Whatever happened to that mask?
That's a very good question.
Maybe Tintin still has it?
I gave it to the Baker's kid downstairs at my office. He wears it for Halloween and stuff. It's great. It's wonderful.
Excellent.
None of that was true. I don't know. I think Jackson took it, maybe. I got no use for artifacts.
Oh, not for that artifact, for sure. Yikes. I'm gonna, with the pen and paper, I'm going to roll arts and crafts mat and
Okay. Yeah.
sketch on it. Oh, it's okay.
Do you want to spend some luck, or do you want to, do you want to re-roll, or does it push? You can push this game,
Push.
or do you want to spend the luck? It's not that much luck.
I know. I'll spend luck, but it's not letting me.
Oh,
But don't forget that the luck, if you spend luck, you won't get to do the roll.
I
So
spent it
increase
for you.
later.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Excellent.
Okay.
So I've recreated the bit from, or the picture that Barbara liked from our earlier correspondence.
For Barbara. Okay.
For Barbara, and I write down Miss West's phone number on the back, and I
Okay.
go to Barbara. What a monster! If you see anything funny, or if Mr. Kensington gets any sort of peculiar guests, give us a call. And I pass her the bit.
She winks and nods. Takes it and puts it inside the desk.
You know, I was in line to talk to her, and then you just cut it. I feel like that is pretty rude.
Come on, Ryan. Let's just vamoose.
I was just going to tell her about the new library job since I was going to be leaving. You know,
Nobody
but-
wants to hear that. Let's go.
Wow. I like it. Ryan, speechless. Nobody wants to hear it. Let's go.
Come on.
Like Gwen, she's got some moxie, doesn't she, Ryan? I personally wouldn't say anything like that to you because you're a mountain, but
I think she has been drinking too much today. She is more brave than usual.
Wow. She did.
I like it.
She did sucker punch that reporter last week too.
I did.
She's got moxie. That she
She's
does.
got moxie, that one. Yep.
Ain't nobody telling me otherwise.
All right.
So- are we headed out to the Juju house? I mean, that's popped up a couple of times
Juju
again.
house.
Was our
Juju
plan, I
house.
think.
As we
Yeah.
leave, Veronica West does the bribe that she would have given the head honcho had he not been a sexist pig prick. She kind of hates that. She doesn't let on. But she hates it.
Oh, of
So I'm gonna
course,
make a credit roll.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, Barbara.
Holy shit! You know what? I spend the 2 luck and I pass that. I will not organically pass a single credit roll, even though it is literally above everybody
your
else's
best-
in this entire group combined.
It is your best skill.
Ryan is surprisingly
12 luck.
wealthy.
Yeah, I'll say, hey, Miss West, I can get this one, perhaps.
No.
Yes.
West is very insistent upon.
Seamus,
I
hate you
Seamus
so
walks in and just like pulls out like a bill or some
We're,
change. Like,
we're all just giving her so
you're
much
just
money.
showering
for
her
putting
with
up
money.
this piece of shit.
It's like, yeah, that's all right. See, Miss West, that's fine.
So the line just continues. I don't understand. I had to skip my turn, and they can just go pay her.
yeah, they're showering her with money.
For your troubles.
She thanks you. She thanks you.
You are two-faced, Gwen, and he storms out.
I look at you, Ryan, and I'm like, do you want some too?
He's just
Purse is open.
angrily walking away.
Hey,
All you
Miss
have
West,
to do is say yes.
He had to wait 10 minutes for him to get there, and then everybody just got to do everything else.
Yes, Mrs. West, I would like some of your money. All you have to say.
hey, Mrs. West, I'd like some of your money.
You've already got it.
All right. Juju house. Let's go to Juju house. Cold January day. So it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon at this point.
I'm definitely walking to Juju house. I'm
All right. It's in the heart of Harlem. So as you get closer and closer and into Harlem, you stick out like a sore thumb. There are not a lot of Caucasian people in Harlem in 1920. So you definitely do stand out here. And people are kind of like looking and doing like a double take as this big giant Swede is strolling through the streets of Harlem. And the rest of you arrive in the car. So you know it's on West 138th. There's an address. There's also something about an alley to West 137th. So I'm going to say you arrive, you pull up, you get to the address on West 138th, and you're greeted with a building. It's a single-story building. There's a staircase leading up. You see a door in front of you. There's 3 barred windows to the left of the door. And you see an old sign above the door. It says Pool's Pawn Shop. Poole. Pool's Pawn Shop. And it's closed. It's an old pawn shop. It looks like it's closed for quite some time. There's just dust that's piled up on it. The sign looks really old. It's unkept. The paint has started to peel and fade on it.
As I pull up to the place, I give it a look over, and then I give it a sharper look over, trying to peer through windows and such.
Sure.
See if I can't make out any
there's
signs
3.
of the existence of a juju house.
3 barred windows. You go ahead and make me a roll for that.
Yeah, let me see.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, a pass
Spotted.
finally.
Spotted.
God.
You got it. You made it. So
I think this is my first natural success of the night.
yeah, I think you're right.
Good God. Except for the charm earlier, but that goes without saying.
So you're kind of walking around. You look in the window of the old pawn shop, and it's abandoned. Like, looking in there, you don't really see anything. It's just dust. There's some shelves from when this was open, but there's no goods or anything in there anymore. The front door is boarded up. And you make your way over to the windows, and you kind of like stand on a crate, and you look through these windows, and there's curtains hanging on them, but you're able to see that there is light shining through. You can just barely see past one of these curtains. There's light, and there is something else in there, but you can't make out what. Which is a stark contrast to the abandoned pawn shop that it's attached to, where it's just dark, boarded up, dusty. While you're also kind of casing the joint, like,
What does
residents...
the air smell like?
The air? It smells like New York in 1920s. It doesn't, it's not...
By the window, though.
And
Is there any particular fragrance, maybe?
No, there's nothing extraordinary coming from the window.
I was expecting, like,
But it's
incense or
warm, so
something.
that's the other thing. You're up by the windows, they're warm. So somebody's definitely there's light, and somebody's heating.
Okay, somebody's in there for sure. Yeah, okay, confirm.
People are walking by, and residents are kind of they're kind of giving a wide berth, and they're kind of like looking at you strange. And one man comes over, and he's like, "What are you doing? The pawn shop's been closed for a long time."
Oh, hello there, sir. We're actually looking for the Juju house.
Oh,
A buddy by the name of Silas.
yeah. That's around back. You got to go over to 174th. It's really weird. The entrance is through an alley in the back.
I know the type. Thank you for the information.
Yeah, no problem. Just kind of looks at the 4 of you and just kind of goes about his business and keeps walking.
I hand him $1.
Give him $1. He doesn't question it. He takes it and walks away.
I turned to Brooke. Money does make the world go round, you know.
That's why I continue to try to find it on a day-to-day basis. You'd be surprised how much of it falls into my pockets from time to time.
Follow me, you'll find it plentifully in your pockets.
I like the way you think, Miss West. You terrify me, but I like the way you think.
That's the plan. I drive.
You drive around the corner, and you.
Man, is the cop car still following us?
Make me a spot hidden roll.
Can I make a drive to have evaded it?
Yes. Yes, you can.
It's
There
a
is
pass.
definitely a tail on you,
Ooh,
and you can try to make a drive roll to go out of your way, because you're just going to be going around the corner at this point.
Well,
okay,
fuck me
so
bloody.
we're driving around Harlem. We're leaving. We're going to the next neighborhood. You're going all over the place.
I hit the highway! Let me get
me,
off the first fucking exit.
Let me roll for these guys. What's their
The
drive?
one they don't talk about.
Oh, there's spot hidden.
Holy smokes!
They're a
Miss
bunch
West,
of
you got-
Irish guys. They ain't gonna be able to follow. What are you crazy?
They don't drive like us Italians.
I don't know if I feel comfortable you saying us Italians. Gotta be
Okay.
honest.
Yeah, so you all of a sudden you just break off, and you could see their car turn like it was on the other side of the road, and they start tailing you, and you watch them clearly in your side mirrors, and they're trying to keep up with you. And with the slippery streets, the snow that's piled up, take a turn here, a turn there. They keep on you for a little while, but after a few minutes, you're able to shake them. You lose the tail. You're confident. You can make me a spot hidden roll, but you succeed. You succeed with your drive roll. I'm just letting you know you did. Oh, and the dog barks out of nowhere at you.
You're the bee's knees there, Miss West. That was a mighty piece of driving you did there.
Ryan, are you just walking down the sidewalk though?
I
Oh,
am knocking
yeah,
on the
where I
door
learned
that
that
we
one.
were just on. I haven't left. I'm still
The
there.
pawn
I'm
shop
knocking
door.
Yeah. Is this Juju house? I'm knocking really hard.
All right.
It's like,
You're literally there.
So you're banging on the door. There's no answer. There's no sound. There's no answer. There's no nothing.
and there's no like we walk around. There's no like basement or any sort of like other entrance.
I'll tell you what. You're looking through the door, like through the glass window door, and you can see straight through the building. There's a back door with a window on it also, and you can see into that back alley that guy had mentioned. So it looks
Okay.
like there's a back entrance to this pawn shop as well on the other side.
So yeah, then I will walk the fast way, I'm sure, to right there.
Yeah, you walk around here. I'm going to show you. It's funny because it's really hard to describe the way it's set up. So I'm going to show you a map just to get an idea of what we're looking at. So you've got West 138th is where you started. Around back through the alley, you're going to see that's the entrance to Juju House and the entrance to the old pawn shop. Is that?
Docking
Gotcha.
wet.
And you've got the 3 windows on the front of the building. So it's attached, like it's one building, but there's 2 different separate things in here. So there's Juju House. All right. You make your way back around the alley while the rest of them are driving. And it's a long, long alley, but you can see it opens up into almost like a little small court. I wouldn't call it a courtyard, but it's the best way to describe it. And you see there's 2 doors. You see, and one of the doors, there's this painted on the window. It says Juju House. You can see like curiosities in the window. You see like a drum and a mask, and it looks like, you know, knickknacks that would come from Africa, just in their design.
Wes pulls up to the place with an absolutely gut-wrenching screech as she actually does a full 180, and the car is parked facing the alley. But it wasn't facing the alley when she pulled the keys out of the ignition, so it was a real fluid movement that probably left a lot of fluids in the cockpit.
Well, this is actually happening while you're losing your tail. While you're losing your tail, Ryan is walking down. You're walking down the alley, aren't you? You're going to go check out Juju House?
Yeah.
You're walking down the alley, and all of a sudden you hear a whistle behind you. And you turn around, and there's 2 New York City police officers, and they've got their batons out, and they're kind of like hitting them with a hand.
Oh shit!
Say,
Is
where,
this a serious threat?
where you going, pal?
The Juju House, it is a antique shop. I am going to buy antiques.
Are you now? Why don't you come to the station with us? We got a few questions to ask you.
No, it is actually okay. I prefer not
We
to.
want to talk about your friend, Mr. Elias. Come with us.
I am not going to go with you.
All right. The 2 officers approach you.
Okay.
And
I will pull out of my bag and I will screw it. He has a wooden hilt and a large like wooden stick and ties to it. It makes like a wooden sword.
What? What? What do you pull out, a broom? What are you?
No, it's like a wooden
describing?
sword.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
God!
I will like make sure I position myself like if we're in this little courtyard, like
Wow.
in that corner away from the alley. So like if I actually beat the shit out of these
Alright.
people, like
Evan
no one
asked for
sees
combat tonight, and his character may
me.
die.
Why? You're gonna like split me.
Oh, it's too good. He split the party. Of course I got to jump you then.
Amazing.
All right. So let's
That's
do
why he
some-
didn't put my name
So
on
these
there,
guys
really.
are going to approach you, and they're not backing down. So
Yeah,
let's do some combat. So
Sure.
initiative is based on dex. What is your dex score?
50.
Ooh, these cops are going to get the jump on you. Okay, so the 2 that come over, and they both got their nightsticks out, their batons, and they're like, one last chance, pal. Put the broom handle away.
All right, I guess this is how it will be. I will do my antiques after this.
So you're gonna fight them? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you mean?
All right, all right. Camp Ryan's been waiting for this. I guess he wanted to see you die. All right, so the first one tries to hit you with his nightstick, his billy club, whatever you will. 77. That's not a success. The other one tries to swing at you. Maybe you just like absorb the hit. The
Yes.
other one does hit you though.
So
what's
I don't know how combat works. Does
Yeah,
I just get
we're gonna go
hit?
through it. We haven't really done combat, so we're gonna go through it.
Okay.
So you can attempt to dodge
Mm-hmm.
the attack.
No.
You can attempt to fight back,
Is that just a brawl? Like,
or you
Yeah,
can do a
it's-
maneuver. Resolve as a for fight back, but instead of like damage, apply the effect of the maneuver. So you can either choose dodge, fight back, or maneuver.
I will fight back.
Okay. So go ahead and make your combat roll, please.
So I roll
Brawl
like
or-
my weapon roll, or I just roll brawl?
Roll brawl.
Okay.
Okay, you win. So he leans in to hit you, and you stop it, and you're gonna have to hit him back. Is that? I'm just looking here. Resolve is fight back, but instead of inflicting damage, apply effect or maneuver. Okay. No. So you stop the damage.
Okay.
You stop the damage. Interesting. Okay. It's your turn. 2-on-1.
Yeah, so I think he catches, like he dodges.
Yeah.
The first one just bounces off his chest, and the second one he like catches the club, and then he's gonna go and just headbutt him.
Nice.
I'm just gonna roll the wooden sword, but that's like
Sure. Go for it. Oh my
Oh,
goodness. An extreme success. 14 damage?
Oh yeah, my guy does a fuck ton of
14
damage.
damage? That's huge
And you know
in Call
what?
of Cthulhu.
You
Oh
know
my
what?
God.
I can spend 10 luck and I can attack again.
That's a critical.
Yes. Oh, you
Holy-
crushed him.
Holy shit. Let me look at how much hit points
You
a
said you
a
can't
beat cop
be
has.
nuts in COC.
That's right.
Nobody told me that rain was a button, man.
All right, so you bring the sword down, and the guy just like collapses at your feet. And the other one looks at you, and he's mad, but he's also a little scared. You can tell. Do you want to attack again?
Yeah, I'll spend my 10 luck and attack again.
Holy.
I'm basically gonna just like, baseball bat him into the wall and like splat him against it.
Regular success. How much damage?
9.
9. So you smack him, but it's not enough to stop him.
That's okay.
All right, I'm gonna roll for him to hit you back. It's a hit. You can attempt to dodge or fight back or maneuver, whatever that is.
Okay, so he succeeded, right?
Yep. So he's gonna hit you.
Okay.
For 2 damage.
I will use 10 luck to reduce it to 0.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make your attack. Hard success.
Oh, 4.
4 damage. He drops also, though, with the amount of damage you did previously. So the second cop, you bring your sword down on him, and he just, like, crumples in the wet, snowy back alley. You have 2 police officers laying at your feet.
Are they like unconscious or did I kill
Yeah,
them?
they're unconscious.
Okay.
As you're kind of standing there and you're huffing and puffing, and there's 2 police officers at your feet, people are walking by this alley, and somebody sees. You look up, and you see someone sees you standing over 2 downed cops.
I look at them and I point. Is this the Juju house? I'm looking for the Juju house.
The guy just kind of like nods and
And then
takes
I
off.
give him, and then I'm gonna. Well, I was gonna try and intimidate him, but
I'm gonna say with that, all of a sudden, the car pulls up and does that crazy maneuver that Veronica does, and the rest of you see Ryan standing there over 2 downed police. You don't know if they're dead or unconscious. There's just 2 police officers, uniformed police officers, at his feet.
he's just unscrewing the sword to put it back in his.
Sweet heavens to Betsy, my good ma'am, what have you done?
I found the Juju house, but these
What's
guys.
with the accompaniment?
They said I couldn't go into the Juju house. They
They're
said,
fucking cops!
but they were trying to take me in for I didn't do anything. It's
Hey,
like you.
Cops.
Hey, Rain, that's all right. It's gonna be okay. Let's put some bracelets on them and put them in the back of the alley, and maybe grab the stuff out of their pockets. And who knows? Maybe they don't show back up tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe
Yes,
they just.
and also maybe I park somewhere else.
Sure, I think somebody saw me though.
So what you're saying is we ought to hurry up or skedaddle.
The
Yes,
hood's open.
I do not think I could, disguise myself. So we should probably think of a plan B. I am going to walk into the Juju house now that I have access.
Will somebody help me clean this mess up?
Gwen
what do you-
steps out of the car and just.
What do you think we're gonna do with them? Like, we take them with us, we make it worse. We hide them, we make it worse. We leave them here, and we go somewhere else and come back later to the Juju house when they're not here, and that might be the smarter play here.
This mess includes getting Ryan in my fucking car.
I can walk. Your
Well, that's
car
the
is
easy
very
part.
small, anyways.
It's not that small. I think you might want to get inside. That's fine.
Yeah, Ryan,
Guarantee
you go ahead. You go ahead and get in the car. I'll wave
I'll
down
go
the-
ahead and walk.
I'm
Yeah,
going to
but-
Juju house. That is why I walked
I
over here. to
really
begin
don't
with.
think that's a good idea right now. There's 2 New York City police officers on the ground, and you're responsible for it. And you just said someone saw you, which means shortly there will be more than 2 New York City police officers here. I don't think you understand what it's like. What happens here when, they get roughed up? It's a boys' house. It's a fraternity. They're gonna come down on you hard, man. We don't got a lot of time here.
I popped the trunk. Get in.
You want me to fit in the trunk?
It's a big trunk there. I mean, take a look at that, Ryan. You mean you might have to fold up like an accordion, but
I will not be belittled by Miss West.
Do you want shotgun then? Want to sit next to me for a half hour?
I would rather you be my chauffeur. I will sit in the back seat.
That's what I thought.
Lloyd, they're gonna pinch us for this. We got to get out of here.
Yeah, I think we should take a walk. Gwen, you want to take a walk with us, or you want to go with these 2?
I think I'm gonna go for a walk.
Okay, that sounds good.
I'm getting
We're
the
just
hell
gonna go for a
outta
while.
here.
There's a park right there, right like 200 feet away. We can just walk right down to the park.
I am
Beautiful
upset.
winter day.
Don't worry. There's plenty of other things that we can do, such as stare at each other in silence.
We were looking so
Hours.
forward to Juju house, and I was so close.
Again, so
Anywhere but here.
all of you stick out like a sore thumb in Harlem as well. So there are people walking by. What was the other street? 147. There are people milling about. There are cars, and the 5 of you standing there. I'm assuming you parked the car so you're like blocking the alley and people can't see the police officers.
Well,
but
I said I was also beating them up in the corner, not in
Okay.
the, not open.
like
I was
further
trying-
down the alley in that kind of
Right,
like,
I was
little
trying to
court
go
area?
in that little
Sure.
courtyard so I could draw them
Oh.
in there.
Right in front of the
Yeah.
windows at Juju House. Okay.
Well, I prefer Juju house than all of the people walking by.
All right. Hey, good stuff. Very good. All right. In front of. Okay, over by Juju House. Gotcha. So you're all kind of like discussing this in that little court area?
Oh, no,
I'm
we're
in the
walking.
car.
Oh, we're walking.
Oh, okay.
As soon as Macho Man is in the car is in gear.
Macho. All right, you finally get the car and you hear sirens nearby.
Yeah. Can I do another drive test here?
Why don't
too?
you just drive normally and not make it suspicious?
Yeah, you don't. They're not here yet, but you do hear sirens. Someone's obviously
Okay,
called
I'm
the
gonna
police.
drive casual.
Exactly. Pretend everything is normal.
Sure. All right.
Yeah, Lloyd's-
Don't be a backseat driver.
And
I
and,
know what
Taxi.
I'm doing.
and Louis went for a walk, and so did Gwen.
Yeah, there's a park right down the street. We just went to that,
Sure.
wandered around, looked at the snow and the leaves, and made our next course of action.
Which is Juju House Take 2.
No, I think maybe we go up to Westchester, get out of the city for a day or two, let this die down a bit, talk to Miss Carlisle, and then we can come back and
All
revisit
right.
Juju House
We're
later.
going. Got to make an appointment with Miss Carlisle in Westchester.
And Seamus is just sort of disappearing into the crowd. Collar up, hat down. Walks up to a group of people that he doesn't know, and he's like, "Hey, I'm new to town. I was wondering if you can," and just starts chatting these people up. And even if they're ignoring him, he doesn't care. He's just walking away.
Nice.
The chat really wants Evan to go to Juju House. They're disappointed
I
that
was
you
just trying
We
to go
have
to
like
Juju
10
House.
minutes left. I don't think that's Juju House time.
You can go to Juju House.
I
There are
was
sirens.
immediately suspicious when Matt brings up a map, and I'm like, "Can I roll psychology on the GM? You have a map of the Juju House."
What?
Yeah, I was gonna roll psychology too there. This is a combat map.
Matt's got a combat map.
What? That's not a
Roll to
combat map.
determine whether this is a combat.
That's an outlet. That's the layout of Juju House to help help show
Help
you.
clarify.
Yeah, like how this building's set up. How there's a door in the front. There's 2 doors in the back. You gotta go around the alley. Yeah.
We'll never know. Juju House.
You never
is-
know because you beat up 2 New York City police officers in the alleyway.
Don't worry. We'll be back to the Juju House.
So plans for next week is to call Miss Carlisle and see if you
Then we
can
go to
go meet up with her
Westchester.
and break into her safe to get the books that Jackson was after. Okay,
Yeah.
Yep. And then back to Juju.
and then
House.
back
And
to
then back to
Juju House.
Juju House.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
go
I think we hit up Juju House first. It's on the way.
No, we should.
Oh, no. We need to take some time. Maybe
Ryan
go to-
really wants to go.
We're going to
Really-
Juju House on the way back from Westchester at night.
Yeah, maybe like midnight, 1 in the morning, something like that.
I'll tell you what. Something you did
Fewer
notice
people in the street to see you beat up whoever happens
you-
to see you in the alleyway.
when you were in that courtyard and you saw the sign of Juju House. You notice there was also a card in the window and it says it's open from 9 to 5, closed on Sundays, with lunch between 12 and 1. You did see a little card in the window when you're back there roughing up those cops with the hours of operation.
Hours of operation don't really apply when Rook's in the party, so.
That's true. I've been known to occasionally find that the locks are open when people mysteriously think they have locked the doors. Isn't that right, Miss West?
That's some strange juju.
I'm still looking for another lock that you can't break.
If you ever find a lock that I can't pick, you should let me take a look at it, because I'll figure that shit out.
Have I ever told you that I'm kind of rivals with the Chicago Museum?
Well, I've made some enemies in Chicago, but I've always been willing to go back for the right incentives.
Well, they did take something of my husband's in the
Well,
divorce.
from my understanding, just based on what you've told me, you took something from your husband too. But I'm not gonna.
What my husband had, he gave freely.
That's. I am sure he did. You're scarier even than Rain, and he just beat the hell out of 2 cops. So whatever you say,
Well.
sister.
I'm assuming this is all in my apartment after we finally meet up.
You're back in the apartment drinking, arguing over this. Like, we gotta go back to Juju House tonight. No, we're going to Westchester. We're laying low. No.
And I'm just like, honey, I'm good friends with the cops. I can't be seen around some dead ones. Cops love me.
So you want to reach out before we wrap this up? Do you want to reach out to her lawyer there? What was it, Mr. Gray?
Yes.
And arrange, see if you can even get access to the Carlisle estate?
Oh, we can get access to the estate. Whether or not we go in the front door, that's another thing altogether.
Why don't I make a charm? I've already done charm for the day. Let me see. What else do I have?
Yeah, what other skills do I
I-
love?
I should be the one to talk to the lawyer. It seems right.
No, I'm her people.
Go to law school.
Yeah,
I did go to law school. Lawyer to lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think. Oh, fuck, persuade. How have I not done persuade yet? Oh my god. Yeah, I pop a persuade.
Okay, so you call the law offices, or the number you're given. A woman answers. She says, "Oh, the offices of Dunstan, Whittleby, and Gray. How can I help you?"
Hello, you're speaking to the director of the Museum of Natural History in New York City, Veronica West.
Very good, ma'am. What can I do for you?
I would very much like to be put to the lawyer of, whatever her name is,
Carlisle.
Madam
Erica
Carlisle. Yeah.
Erica?
Mr. Gray?
Yes, that would be the one.
Hold on. Click, 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 click.
You should probably know the name of the person you're trying to contact you, or it makes this completely pointless.
Mr. Gray.
Yeah, he comes on. Yes. Yeah. How can I help you?
You sure can. I am the director of the Museum of Natural Histories in New York City, and I'm looking to have a conversation in the near future pertaining to our work, to work that we're needing to investigate. And she would be an absolutely expert source on the matter. We're looking to have a conversation with her as soon as possible.
What is it regarding?
Well, it is regarding the Carlisle expedition, of course, and other matters important to my personal interests at the moment.
You hear him kind of like audibly sigh. It's always about the damn expedition. Fine. She's got an opening tomorrow, 10 a.m. You can go to the house and meet with her. I'll arrange to have. What is your name? I'll put your name down on the guest list. So the men at the gate, Madam West. The men at the gate will know who.
And posse.
And posse. How big is your posse?
Well, of course, I have my driver, makes one, and then several other interested parties. 3.
Okay, so you...
So a total of 4.
Okay.
Aside from myself.
Madam West. All right. 10 a.m. tomorrow. Miss Carlisle will be expecting you. She gets a lot of requests about the expedition. It's all been in the papers. She's answered these questions 100 times. But given that you work
my late husband was a financier of theirs. Well, you know, using museum funds to help expedite the expedition. Of course, not the major financer of the expedition, but one of the contributors. And, you know, we were just hoping that I might have a conversation with her as peer to peer.
Very good, Madam West. You can speak with her tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Marvelous. Thank you.
Just click on the other end.
Oh, it was horrible. I was all wrong from the start. Oh, God.
So you have your appointment with Erica Carlisle, the sister of the Carlisle expedition. All right, so let's wrap this up. Let's do the round tables. Everybody plug what you got going on this week. Aaron, what else do you have going on this week?
So this week, tomorrow, 12 p.m. on Garblag game, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Garblag Games will be the finale of Akchun Cthulhu, where we see whether or not our squad of Nazi bashers are actually crazy enough to go into the hole where all the horrible things are, or whether or not we stick to our plan and just blow it up and run like hell.
Blow it up.
That's what I'm saying. And then Sunday over on Free League, we'll be back for some Aliens fun, where our Psycho crew takes our ship out for its first spin, and then back here on Tuesday to go talk to Erica.
That's right. And possibly Juju House this time. Or that
Juju
time.
House.
Juju House.
Maybe eventually.
Megan, are you still making your way through the board game library?
This week I took off because I'm finishing unpacking my house. Very unexciting and whatnot, but exciting to me all the same.
Very good. There you go. I bought Mansions of Madness. It arrived the other day. I'm looking forward to getting into that. I talked to Jeff. Is it good? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, love that game.
We might have to do an exchange.
Yeah. Because I love Eldritch Horror. And yeah, it looks good. Pat, what is going on in your packed schedule this week?
Holy shit, yeah, I'm so sorry. My schedule's so goddamn packed. Thank you again, Matt, for running an absolutely marvelous game, and all the rest of the players for being fucking spectacular, and I love all of you. Anyway, here's my spiel. Hi, I co-run Diesel Shot. On Mondays, we have a game that I'm not involved in, the only one, Diesel Shot's High Road campaign, which is a D&D 5e adventure featuring a lovely cast of players and run by my co-host Lee. On Tuesdays, you'll find me here, evenings, Garblag Games, 10 to 12, repping the North America branch of this fine franchise. And on Wednesdays, we have a sponsored game on Diesel Shot, sponsored by the lovely Fool's Moon Publishing, Entertainment. And they're marvelous folks, and they've funded our Worlds Without Numbers campaign, which we wouldn't be running without them. And that is 7 to 9 p.m. EST. And on Thursdays, you'll find me starring in our Fallout game, Uranium Fever, on Diesel Shot from 8:30 to 12-ish. And Fridays, I have the night off, but the days I spend on Garblag Games playing Vampire the Masquerade.
Vampire!
4 p.m. EST until we end. Usually around 7, at which point I go to my girlfriend's house and enjoy her pool. Wow, it is great to be alive. And Saturday, usually, and this one in particular, you'll find me on Diesel Shot 8:30 to midnight playing something sci-fi. This week, we're going back to Change Stars, baby, as we unveil Change Stars' drone rules. Yeah!
Nice.
It's not just for Obama, folks. And literally any pilot or person with the operator skill in Change Stars can use a drone to do things and manipulate the world in a support role, and we are exploring that mechanic this week. So you can find me on Saturday. Monday, I did the thing. I'll be back here Tuesday, folks.
Awesome. Jeff, what do you have coming up this week?
I'm done.
Yeah, twitch.tv/lollygaggers. On Friday, we play Delta Green. We're playing through Impossible Landscapes, and we're about to finish part 2 of 4. So we're about halfway through that campaign, and it's gotten pretty bonkers. Saturday, we are also playing Worlds Without Number. We are getting close to the end of our season 1 of that. We've been doing a little campaign for the past couple of months. And then on Monday, we'll be back to Alien, continuing our Cinders of Heaven campaign, where you can see Matt lose various appendages, commonly his arms.
No.
And then
no more.
and then tomorrow night,
Oh,
I
Matty,
made a brand new
arms.
character, so I have 2 fresh arms to rip off of him. So it's great. And then tomorrow night, I'll be over on Defenders of Cobalt playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
No. This character is keeping his arms.
Mhm.
Maybe not his legs, but he's keeping his arms.
I can work with that.
All right. Evan,
Old Matty 2 legs.
what do you got going on the rest of the week?
Nothing hasn't been said. I'm taking a break for Aliens, but I'll probably be back in a few weeks. Besides that, we're just playing this on Tuesdays.
Awesome. All right. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you, everybody who tuned in and joined us. And thank you to the players, as always. It was a lot of fun as we're unraveling the mystery behind Jackson Elias' death. See you next Tuesday.